The insurance covered most of it, but you know, the doctor says I'll never be able to walk again. Oh, hi. Welcome to Gattsy on Goosebumps, the show in which I review every single Goosebumps book from R.L. Stein's original series. And today, joining me as always, is my co-host with the most ghost, Letitia. How are you feeling, Tish?
I'm good.
I dragged you out of bed with a headache. What are we talking about? Which book are we talking about today?
The Curse of Camp Cold Lake.
Now, did you ever read any Goosebumps books growing up, Tish?
I didn't.
Well, it must have been a great thrill for you to finally discover what it's all about.
Yeah.
Do you think it's an effective and scary cover there, Tish?
I do think so. I was quite scared when I first saw it, I must say. Sink or sink.
Oh, hang on.
Camp is supposed to be fun, but Sara hates Camp Cold Lake. The lake is gross and slimy, and she's having a little trouble with her bunkmates. They hate her. So Sara comes up with a plan. She'll pretend to drown, then everyone will feel sorry for her. But things don't go exactly the way Sara planned, because down by cold dark lake, someone is watching her, stalking her, someone with pale blue eyes and a see-through body.
Oh, goodness me.
Chilling.
And, so yeah, our story revolves around Sara at Camp Cold Lake. She doesn't really want to be at a swimming camp.
No, she's not really a fan of sports.
No, she's not. And she just gets off on the wrong foot with like her bunkmates immediately.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think some of the stuff she does. Doesn't she accidentally expose someone's like asthma medication or something?
Yes, she pulls a lot of pills out of some sort of case or something, and it's very embarrassing for her bunkmate.
I don't know. Did you like this Sara character, or did you think she was kind of a bit whiny and kind of a bit annoying?
She's a bit high maintenance.
Very high maintenance, I'd say. So look, she's in a really bad place with her campers. She's perceived as high maintenance and, I believe a phrase used in the book, a total jerk.
Yes. Very hard to get along with.
So she sort of has this plan to make everyone feel sorry for her. And what is that plan?
Her plan is to swim out with a pair and basically ditch her pair and pretend to drown. So everyone will come looking for her and be worried about her.
Doesn't quite go to plan. She stays under for as long as possible, and when she gets up, the camp is, I think it's in the middle of winter or something, isn't that right?
It's quite cold, yes.
Yeah, and she seems, once she emerges from the water to enter this ghost world, or this ghost camp, where there's only this one other girl there called Della, I believe.
Yes, Della.
And so we start to believe that, maybe actually Sara has died and drowned in the lake. But sure enough, she emerges, she's back to normal in normal Camp Cold Lake. She survived the scare.
Same surroundings.
Same surroundings.
Same normal.
But there's one difference, isn't there?
Yes. Della is everywhere. Della does not leave her alone.
Della's essentially haunting her.
Oh, be my buddy.
That's it. We'll be buddies forever now.
Buddies forever.
Yeah. So, and of course, no one else sees Della.
No.
Everyone else thinks she's just a bit spooked from her drowning incident.
Her near-death experience.
I think she resolves to run away. Is that correct?
Yes. She tells her brother she's going to run away to the nearest phone box, call her parents, and she's out of here. She's had enough of the camp. That's it.
And oddly enough, the only person who sort of like sees her is one of her bunkmates, Breanna, who actually says good luck, and she seems quite serious about it. That's a bit weird. More of that in a moment. So we assume, because Della meets Sara, underwater when she's pretending to drown, that she's drowned in the lake at some stage.
Yeah.
But the camera's like, what? No, what are you talking about? No one drowned at this lake. Turns out she actually snuck away and got bitten by a massive snake. And that's how she died. And as Sara is running away, followed by Della, she wraps a snake around her, if I may. You might be right.
If I may. A snake ends up wrapping itself around her leg.
Ah, okay. Don't you get it? She replied. That was my plan. I made you afraid of the lake, Sara. I made you terrified of the lake, because I knew you'd try to escape through the woods. I knew you'd run into the woods and die like me, and be my buddy. No, I protested. I won't. Sara, look. Della pointed toward the ground. I gazed down and watched a fat black snake curl around my leg. Ooh, not a fan of snakes?
No, not that.
Sure enough, someone comes to the rescue. And it's
No other than her bunkmate, Breanna.
Breanna.
She was previously tortured.
Yeah, and Breanna reveals that Della tried to make Breanna her buddy last summer and tried to do the same thing.
Concept. Please.
Breanna uttered an angry cry. You didn't think I'd come back, but I did. I came back to this camp this summer to protect the next girl. No, Della wailed. I finally understood. I stepped up to the tree beside Breanna. Breanna is my buddy, I declared, and I'm coming back next summer to warn the next girl. Eventually, she just sort of disappears. She just is so distraught that she seems to just sort of disappear.
I wrapped my arms around her to hug her, and my hands went right through her body. I gasped. I grabbed her shoulder, but I couldn't feel a thing. I jumped back in shock. Breanna narrowed her eyes at me. Della killed me last summer, Sara, she said softly. On the last day, but I didn't want to be her buddy. I just never liked her. She floated forward, raised herself off the ground, hovered over me. But I need a buddy, she whispered. We have to do it again. But I need a buddy. Everyone has to have a buddy. You'll be my buddy, won't you, Sara? I saw the hissing snake in her hand, but I couldn't move. You'll be my buddy, won't you? Breanna repeated. You'll be my buddy forever.
Oh, the implication being Breanna's going to kill her with a snake, and sure enough, they'll be buddies forever. It's a classic R.L. Stein-esque double twist. You think the main villain is thwarted, only to reveal that someone else was also the paranormal thing that you were haunted by throughout the whole thing. Classic Stein. What did you think of it as a book overall? Bear in mind, it's written mostly for 12-year-olds. So what did you think?
I liked it. I think it was probably appropriate for 12 plus.
Yep.
I quite enjoyed it myself.
A lot of it is, not so much dealing with, only the second half is dealing with sort of the ghosts and stuff. A lot of it is just her struggling to fit in. Do you think that was effective, or would you rather have had a whole book about ghosts?
No, I think it was effective. I think it reached a broader audience than just the people that like the scary kind of books. It was
bit of teenage angst, trying to fit in.
People, end of primary school, they're sort of, age of 12, it's got a lot coming on for them in high school.
Was that tough for you?
So it's kind of, it's a tough time.
It's still tough for you now, though.
Yes, unis are.
No, I really enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't gratuitous or overboard with the spookiness. This idea that you drown and then you almost die, and now you're seeing this ghost everywhere, and then it's all resolved, and then suddenly, hang on, there's actually another ghost the whole time. Very, very effective storytelling, and sort of R.L. Stein doing what he does best. You haven't read the other ones. Often he tries to sort of throw too much in.
Right.
Like maybe, Breanna gets defeated, and then the next chapter, one of the other girls was a werewolf or something. Oh. Just sort of too much.
Interesting.
I think this is effective, and a really, really effective cliffhanger, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
As did I.
You'd recommend it for fans of the series?
I would.
Oh, fantastic.
I would actually, yes.
Well, that's all for this week. Please join me next time, which I discuss Goosebumps number 57, My Best Friend is Invisible, which is similarly what I told people in high school when they accused me of hanging around with nobody. So we'll just take it off with my trademark catchphrase.
See you next week.